Folks, good morning out there. My name is Omer Ahern Jr. and this is my periodic report as your Grafton County Commissioner from District 3, and I am a resident of Plymouth, and I'm reporting, among other things, on our Commissioners meeting of last Tuesday, the 21st of February, and that meeting started just about 9 o'clock. And on the agenda for that morning was Brent Ruggles. He's the Information Technology Manager. And we also had Nancy Bishop, who is the Human Services Administrator, for a report, and Mr. Jim Oakes, who is the Maintenance Superintendent. And then we also had Chris Wellington from the Grafton Regional Development Corporation. Also, in the old days, was known as the Grafton County Development Corporation. So, Mr. Ruggles came in to talk with us. He needed approval from the commissioners to purchase 5 new computers for the Department of Corrections to replace 5 old computers. They were 5 years old, and they were needed for the Department of Corrections in the to handle the maglocks in the Department of Corrections. So it was in his budget to purchase these computers at a cost of $5,592.42. So the commissioners, after talking with Mr. Ruggles and finding out exactly what the ins and outs were for this purchase, and he presented two or three proposals from 2 or 3 vendors, and he suggested that we purchase the computers from Dell, and again that's $5,592.42 coming out of the taxpayer's pocket. But we need to make sure that we have a secure facility at the Department of Corrections, so that request to purchase those computers was approved 3-0. Then Nancy Bishop, the Human Resources Administrator, came in for her monthly report, and she talked about the long-term care expenses that she monitors through the Medicaid program. Medicaid, of course, is state assistance for people who cannot afford to provide their own medical care. And we're dealing mostly with Medicaid residents in the nursing home. And she talked about the recoveries from the different federal programs that help to pay the costs of the residents at the nursing home. And she also talked about 2 pieces of legislation that could affect our work at the nursing home. Senate Bill 553, which is dealing with managed Medicaid Phase 2, and then Senate Bill 155, which would postpone implementation of Phase 2 managed care because of the some of the concerns over the cost of implementing that within the state of New Hampshire. And so there is some concerns about that. So we're interested in following that legislation, and Nancy does a good job in following that legislation. And Nancy also oversees different other activities there, like the blood drive that was on February 17th. That's something that Nancy kind of keeps an eye on, and for the county up there. It's helping the Red Cross blood program, and so she does a good job on that. The next report, or the next person to report, was Jim Oakes, the Maintenance Superintendent, and he provides us with a very detailed report each time he comes in to see us. So he was talking about the time period January 17th to February 20th, and he and his crew are responsible for making sure that everything is safe and on schedule in terms of safety issues. And he deals with the county complex, the administration building, the courthouse, the nursing home, and again, a lot of his issues are dealing with life safety codes and life safety up there at the county complex in North Haverhill. Also is doing work in the Department of Corrections and working on the maintenance of the farm buildings. So he's just a busy fellow up there. One of the things that Mr. Oakes did report on is, and I mentioned this last week when I spoke with you folks, is the situation we've got where we've got a sewerage line that serves the county complex, and that is deteriorating. So Mr. Oakes went out and at the request of the county commissioners, got a preliminary engineering report of what it might cost to repair or replace that surge line. And not that anything has been confirmed yet, but we have a proposal that it's going to cost the county somewhere around $200,000 plus to replace that surge line. The surge line also ties into the town of Woodsville's sewer system up there, and so there's some issues with the town, not negative issues per se, but we need to find out who's responsible for what part of the sewer line. And there was an agreement between the town and the county back in 1997, but it's not a very clear agreement, so we're dealing with that. And Mr. Oakes has also reported that the county commissioners need to look into repaving all of the parking lots up there at the county complex. And the estimate to repair the parking lots up there is $400,000. So that's not that that's going to happen in 1 year. He's talking about doing that in phases over maybe a 4-year period, because there's 4 sections that need to be replaced. So there's a lot. Unfortunately, there's a lot of opportunities to spend the taxpayers' dollars up there, and I'm going to be asking a lot of tough questions to make sure we are spending the taxpayer dollars as wisely as possible. And I'm going to continue to ask the tough questions. The final visitor to the commissioners' meeting was Chris Wellington. He is the executive director, as I said, of the Grafton Regional Development Corporation, and he presented a report. We don't hear from Chris Wellington every month, but he did come in and he talked about the activities that the Grafton Regional Development Corporation is involved in. One of the I think important things for the folks in the Plymouth Holderness area to know about is that the Grafton Regional Development Corporation manages and oversees the Enterprise Center here in Plymouth. It's used to be the old Richelieu store down there at the new turnabout that leads over to the Doug and Senso Memorial Bridge. That Enterprise Center is a really very important component for incubator businesses here in Grafton County. So if you're interested in knowing what's available for new businesses to start up here in the Grafton County area, they do have some incubator space there, and I would certainly strongly urge anyone who's interested in looking for some incubator space to start a business that they stop in at the Enterprise Center over there on that little roundabout leading over to the DeSenzo Bridge. So Mr. Wellington talked about the loan activity that the Development Corporation is involved in, and since July of 2016, Grafton County Regional Development Corporation closed on 5 loans totaling $850,000, leveraging more than $15 million in additional investment here in Grafton County. These loans created 26 full-time jobs and retained 20 full-time jobs. And that does not count the construction jobs that were involved in these new businesses. And so he's leveraged an additional $3.7 million to help out Grafton County businesses. Again, I talked a little bit about the Enterprise Center at Plymouth. There's a series of seminars that are coming up for businesses on micro enterprise grants to support low to moderate income businesses, and a whole host of other seminars that are coming up. Again, I would stop in or go to the web page for the Enterprise Center, and you can find out what's going on there. There's just a whole panoply of things that are going on that the Grafton County or the Grafton Regional Development Center is involved in. He also presented a report on exactly what the development loans were and the jobs created in a separate report. These will all be attached to the Grafton County Commissioner meetings, which are also online at the Grafton County website. And I think I've got a brochure here that talks about where you can go on to the website for Grafton County and take a look at all these things that are available. So that's pretty much what we did. The meeting adjourned at about 11:15, and that's basically what we did. But a couple of other things I would like to bring your attention to is I want to remind folks that the University of New Hampshire Cooperative Extension has quite a number of folks up there that are housed at the Grafton County Complex. Heather Bryant is the vegetable expert, and she's kind of the office manager. Mike Lunak is the dairy specialist for the entire state of New Hampshire, and Michael is up there at the Grafton County Complex, and we have 4-H people. We have a county forester that is available, so if you're a forest landowner or you're thinking about getting involved in forestry management of your woodlot, contact the UNH Cooperative Extension Office up at Grafton County. Their phone number is 787-6944, 787-6944, and you can talk with any of those folks up there. They have a master gardening program up there. They have a 4-H program coordinator up there, so a lot of opportunities there. Next week, the county commissioners will be hearing from Mr. Tom Elliott. He is the superintendent of the Grafton County Department of Corrections. We will be hearing from him, and we'll probably be hearing from Craig Labor, the administrator of the Grafton County Nursing Home. So unless anybody has any questions of me at this point, I can be contacted at my office at 536-2224, and certainly you can try to contact me at the Commissioner's office up there in Grafton County, North Haverhill, 787-6941, 787-6941, and also I have a local email, omer.ahern.jr@gmail.com. So you can either contact me by phone, 536-2224, or at my email address. And that's my report today. We're still working on the Northern Pass. Commissioner Linda Lauer, who is the chairman of the Board of Commissioners, Commissioner Lauer represents and serves District 2. She's from the town of Bath, and I think today she's actually testifying down at the Site Evaluation Committee's technical session, and she's down testifying there with the county attorney, Laura Saffo, examining her for testimony down there. And we're also working with the other third commissioner, Commissioner Wendy Piper from District 1, which encompasses the towns of Hanover, Lebanon, and Enfield. So that's it. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, give me a phone call or contact me by email. Thank you very much, and I want to thank Juliet for allowing me to speak to you folks through this medium. Thank you.